But if they're talking also about new photography, and if this is it, then
Not loving the photography, I have to admit.
Then yeah,
I've seen it 1,000 times. It's very, very obvious. Very, very safe.
I don't think it's terrible. I see some things that work, and it feels a bit more modern to me.
And I'm hoping you're going to show me some motion, because I would imagine this would lend itself very well to motion.
Yeah, don't expect too much. A bit more modern and younger and positive than it did before.
But I'm sorry, I would give it a... What's good, everybody, and welcome to the brand review. You are back, joining us for another breakdown. We are not another breakdown, looks like I'm having a breakdown, right? But today we are going to be looking at a new brand, Rebrand, which is Verizon. So we will be looking at the logo, we'll be looking at the landscape of the brand, we're looking at the history, also the studio behind the rebrand, and any nice key visuals, graphics, motion stuff that we find attached to the rebranding. So in our usual fashion, this time I have not seen the brand. I've tried to stay away from looking at it because Jan is going to surprise me and you're going to get a live reaction from my good self. But yeah, without further ado, let's get into it. I'm going to hand you over to Jan, my esteemed colleague.
Hello.
Who's going to start the process of delivering this brand to me. Come
yes,
on, let's do this.
Let's do it. So Paul is taking it easy while I'm preparing everything and look into it.
Nice,
that's the better part of this job.
See, I'm relaxed.
No, all good. Okay, cool. Verizon.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's a big one, especially for the US market. I mean, we don't have Verizon here in Europe.
I have no relationship with
Anywhere.
Verizon. I just hear about it on other channels and other communication touch points.
Yeah, I think in the US it's quite a big, maybe even the biggest player on the telecommunication market. So just some facts and figures. Verizon, so originally founded in 1983, as formerly known as Bell Atlantic, and then there was a merger between Bell Atlantic and GTE, which then became Verizon Communications in 2000. They have their headquarters in New York City. As I said, telecommunication company. They are known for operating one of the most extensive and advanced 4G, LTE, and 5G networks in the US, and they are leading as a wireless provider in the US by the subscriber count.
So they're big.
They're big. They also have a lot of employees. 118,000 people approximately working for Verizon.
That's quite some payroll.
That's quite some people.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so this is how Verizon looked before. Actually, the design from 2015, so the redesign of the logo, was done by Michael Bierut from Pentagram.
That was the original.
What do you mean the original?
In 2000, he did the original one.
No, he did in 2015. He did the redesign.
Ah, right, okay.
Because there was a lot of complaints about this logo, it's with all these weird angles and whatever that is. It's a little Nike logo on top of the Verizon logo, right?
Okay, I imagine it was a nightmare to use in any digital environment. That giant thing, an issue, I would say. Definitely needed reworking. It only took them, 20 odd years.
Yeah, and then Michael Bierut did just simplify the logo, right? And made this big check mark. Looks like it's a check mark, much smaller, and that made more sense. Okay, here is also some applications. So this is how the brand looked. So we see very high contrast, a lot of black and white, and also red. The typeface they are using is Neue Hask Grotesque. So this is also like a little hint already. They're still using this font.
I mean, not too bad. The landscape, 2015 and on. Okay.
Yeah. Again, high contrast, big bold typography, little red details here and there, or even bolder red areas.
It's one of these brands when the client asks, I would like something timeless.
Yeah, good point. That's timeless, yeah.
And that's kind of what it is. I mean, it's timeless, but it's still, as of today's standards, you expect more. So I don't actually like that word timeless, because it just means you're trying to get as much bang for your buck, basically, for it to last as long as possible, to be a workhorse. But today's landscape is very different. So
yeah, I think nowadays brands, they want to look more digital, you know, and probably a bit more friendly and inviting. Okay, so they thought, yeah, let's do a rebranding, and they
Who did it? Who did it, Jan? Who did it?
Who did it? Turner Duckworth.
Ah, that was a definite improvement on their pronunciation. Do you remember last time?
The thing is, we might mix me up with Anatoly.
Was it Anatoly? Okay.
Yeah.
All right, that was for another. It took quite some takes to actually get the name.
Because
correct.
I think it was the Sprite rebranding.
Yeah, that's
and I
right.
think
You were not here.
Was done by you and Anatoly, and this is where already Turner Duckworth showed up here at the channel. So, founded in 1992 by David Turner and Bruce Duckworth, headquartered in London and San Francisco. Yeah, they're specialized in brand identity, packaging design, and logo creation. Yeah, they work for the big global corporates like Coca-Cola, Amazon, Levi's, Samsung, Miller, and also Metallica, and are part of the VPP group since 2014.
Like I just squeezed Metallica on the end of that list. Sort of random.
I'm not sure if they did the famous Metallica logo though, but
Okay.
yeah, they did something. Okay, here like a little glimpse on what they're doing. Yeah, as I said, it is like the big global players, a lot of packaging. So
Corporate stuff, right?
yeah, this is what Turner Duckworth is doing. Okay, so let's have a look at what they have done for Verizon. So here is the new Verizon logo.
All right.
So you can see we have two versions here, the Glow V symbol and the Glow V word mark. So we have like a word mark. I think I've actually not put them next to each other. Might be the same logo font as before. But yeah, they got rid of this check mark and have this little detail glow inside of the V now.
Yeah. I'd like to have a little bit more of an explanation what this V glow does, to be honest. But yeah.
So here's the version on a lighter background. Yeah, so it's a very red, and a very bright yellow.
I would imagine two very difficult colors to work with.
Yeah.
Outside of a digital space, anyway.
To print. Yeah, it's okay. It's not. There are worse colors, I think. Orange.
Okay.
Orange is difficult in print.
Yeah, but to get a good gradient at that size.
Yeah, the gradient. Of course, gradient is always not easy in print. Yeah. Okay, so here's also like a little animation. Gives you already a hint on how they want to use this V logo. I think we have seen this mechanic before. I think there might be something.
Yes, we have.
With the V where you use like the one part of it for being a bit more playful and putting some graphics in, and the other one is a bit more solid.
Can we add like another stem to that V and call it Vetflix, for instance?
Netflix, yeah.
I mean, it's very, very similar. There is something there. I mean, it's a V, so they have to work with a V, but it's giving me Netflix vibes, if I'm to be honest.
Yeah, if you just look at it separately. So here we have a little video with some application.
This is like a real life bento.
A real life bento, yeah.
Okay. A terrible carpet.
I mean, carpet in general is, not always a beauty. Okay, again, a few more videos on how they use this logo, like on a shopping front, or here as a signage outside
there you go.
of a shop.
That's the problem. There, right there. Does it have enough impact?
I think we can maybe come. No, I think especially in the word marks, at the word mark, it's quite subtle. Let's say it's very a little detail. You barely see it, right? You might even think, oh, what's wrong with this signage?
In Germany, we have the Apotheker, which actually is a chemist or a pharmacy, and it really is kind of giving me Apotheker chemistry. No, pharmacy. Pharmacy vibes.
Here is a bit bigger. Okay, here I also get some Netflix vibes. It's also it's even animated the glow. I mean, that's nice. If it gets a bit more impact, this yellow glow, I think it helps. I mean, this color combination, this very bright red and yellow, it's quite unique, let's say. I don't know any other company who are using this color combination.
McDonald's,
yeah, okay, maybe. But the yellow especially is a bit brighter here and at Verizon. Okay, so what they want to do with this rebranding, they want
Tell me, Jan.
Expanding a customer offering nationally and internationally, introducing the new logo, the red V with a yellow glow. Like the derivation is, they have already these two. That's where the name comes from, the Veritas and Horizon, and I think they want to bring this together with this logo. So I think the red is maybe the Veritas and the yellow is the Horizon, or maybe the other way around. I don't know.
Wow.
Okay, a refreshed design system with new colors, photography and formats. As I said, the typography is the same. It's still Neue Haas Grotesk. And then they update marketing, digital properties and retail stores, and the rollout will happen through the coming years. As we seen before with, for example, Burger King, if they have a lot of stores, that takes a while, right? They cannot just refurbish all of the stores at the same time, so that might take a while. Okay, so here some visuals of potential campaign. Yeah, as we have imagined before, that's how they use the V. So you have this little, let's call it a window, where they can play around with different kind of context and content and graphics. And the other side, the right side of the V is always a bit more solid, so white and red. All red, yeah. Then we have here, probably a mock-up from an annual report.
Probably.
I think this looks
It is
quite cool.
From an annual report. There's a clue, top right.
Top right. Yeah, I said, I know. I've seen this. That's why I called it an annual report. But I assume it's a mock-up. And this looks actually interesting. I like this kind of tacky graphic. And actually no glow in this case.
Yeah, because it goes in the direction of some kind of brand pattern. And I think that they would have probably done themselves more favor by creating like another iconic element that could sit alongside this V and this brand to elevate the brand instead of just relying on this V, because it will get tired pretty quickly. Yeah. And the stuff from before, I mean, the window, I've seen it 1,000 times. It's very, very obvious, very, very safe.
Yeah, and also what you can see here, again, the Verizon logo, very small in the corner. This little yellow glow, it looks like it's misprinted or something.
Yeah,
it's very, very subtle.
That's
it's
what I was
smaller
getting
the
at
logo
in the
is getting, you don't barely see it. Okay, as I said, Neue Haas Grotesk, still using it. It's known for being the precursor of the Helvetica font, so it's a timeless font. And then here, a few more examples of campaigns. So here is a different approach. So they build like a little pattern out of the V, which I think is more interesting. That's also closer to the annual report graphic we have seen, although they are not really aligned, these two graphics. But yeah,
that's what I was saying. I believe a brand pattern like this would serve them better.
Yeah.
And I'm hoping you're going to show me some motion, because I would imagine this would lend itself very well to motion.
Yeah, don't expect too much. It's very early. There's not. But yeah, this looks like this could be cool in motion. Right. But if they're talking also about new photography, and if this is it, then
not loving the photography, I have to admit.
Then looks like they have a lot of fun there. So again, campaign. Yeah, it looks like there's different ways of campaigns.
We have talked about this many times on this channel. It's one of my pet hates is my something. You can go back and watch some of the videos, but I mention it time and time again. It's the default setting for copywriting. Safe. Mm-hmm. Obvious. My plan, my way, my horizon. It's terrible. I have a real pet hate for this approach to copywriting. You're getting ready
for your score, right? I can see it already.
Come on. It's so new territories, a younger crowd, like looking at expanding outside of where they're at the moment with however they want to talk with a new demographic. Mm. Then come on, think about it. Not great.
Yeah, and also like we have already seen like 3 different ways of how a campaign could look like.
This photography is actually very different to what we just saw.
Yeah, that's why this one looks a bit more modern and consistent, but still also a bit generic. And the colors. I mean, maybe we can quickly talk about the colors. Again, red, these beige, and then it's a very bright yellow, which goes slightly more into the green direction than into the red direction. So it's maybe even like a neon, right? It gets like this little neon yellow vibe, which, I think these colors together, they feel a bit, I don't know, what's a good word for it? Chemical? I mean, they're quite strong and...
Well, there you go. There's the apotheker.
Yeah, maybe that's it.
Pharmacy vibes.
But I have more, when I talk about chemical, it's more like cleaning stuff, kind of chemical.
Cleaning products.
Yeah.
Ouch. Okay.
But as I said, because this also here, like this color combination, it doesn't look like McDonald's, as you mentioned before.
No, not now.
But, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about this color combination. As I said, it's a little bit distinctive, but also it hurts my eyes a little bit as well. Yeah, and then we have here some merchandise examples.
Oh, and actually, by the way, let me just pause a second. If you guys have any comments on any of this, let's get that going below. Let us know what you think. There has been some comments quite recently about doing something live and actually chatting with you guys about it. So with this far in, if you've got any major thoughts, if you agree with us, you're throwing things at the TV or you're throwing your phone on the floor, then get involved and tell us what you think. Thank you. Sorry.
Yeah. For me, just looking at these 2 overviews, I don't think it's terrible. I see some things that work and it feels a bit more modern to me, but it also feels like it's not 100% thought through yet, to be honest. Because they said a new systematic approach, I like to see more of this systematic approach because right now I can't see it. All right, that's it.
Before we go into our scores,
okay,
I have one thing to remind you of. Mm-hmm. Okay, this is a big corporate, right?
Yeah.
And we are champions of being able to have great design wherever, right? Whether it's a small or medium or global player, as long as you create great relationships, you have trust, and you deliver, then there's space for that. A prime example is LG. If you haven't seen the video, check it here. We go crazy about it. We celebrate it. Right? So that's an example of a really great, really big corporate applying amazing design and execution at that level.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to remind you of that before you give us your score.
Thank you for reminding
It's okay.
me. Go ahead. You can start.
Oh, all right then. Yeah, I think you can obviously see from my excitement that I'm not a big fan. It's not really doing anything for me. As I said, big company, bold ambitions, probably with a great budget and a very talented design studio to get behind, and something has gone wrong along the way. And I feel it's the corporate machine not letting go and not allowing them to pursue this brand in the way that they originally envisaged. And I think if we were able to see some of the thoughts behind this in the first place, I bet there was some amazing stuff. But it's so diluted down into like very, very bland safe zone that it shot itself in the foot, and it's lost an amazing opportunity. That always makes me very sad and frustrated when something great could have been done in such a space.
Yeah.
So we give our scores out of 10, and I'm afraid it's going to have to be very low, and I'm really trying my hardest to find some saving grace, but I just can't. I'm really going to... Maybe the font, but I would have also looked at trying to use something else, something a little bit more. I mean, there's so many fonts out there, so many revised versions of this. You could have tried something, but I'm sorry, I would give it a 3.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, that's maybe because I quite like orange. And the font.
Where's orange?
The ready orange colour. But not in this brand, maybe on a t-shirt or something. But please.
Okay, so it's my turn. Yeah, as I said, it feels like not finished. Again, yeah, there's like a lot of different ideas about like layout, but there's no systematic approach so far. At least I can't see it. I think the glow in the logo doesn't work for me. It's okay if you have just a V and you have it like big on a screen or something, or even in a shopping environment. Yeah, that's okay. But on the word mark, and then when it's very small, it doesn't work at all. I don't know how I feel about this color combination, this beige and then this neon green and then a very bright orangey red. It's unique, but also a bit, hurts the eyes to look at.
Yeah.
When I have to give it some positive things, it feels a bit more modern and younger and positive than it did before. But yeah, I think they maybe have to put a little bit more work in to make it more like a nice holistic experience. Okay, score, I'll give it a 4.
Okay. Wow. I really want to take another score off for the copywriting. Live, work, play, blah. My plan, my home, blah. Unlimit yourself, blah. But I'm just going to leave it at that because I've already given my score and I think I've been brutal enough on this one. Yeah, well, that just about wraps it up in this very exciting edition of the Brand Review, where Jan and I lay into brands. And no, sometimes there's some amazing stuff on here. This one just didn't hit the mark. But if you've got this far, thank you for joining us and listening to us chit-chat and waffle on. If you haven't already, subscribe and like the video and share it with people that you think would be love to see stuff about branding, good or bad. And yes, that's just about it from me. So I'll say goodbye.
Goodbye.
And as always, we will see you in the next one. Again, goodbye.
All right, cool.